Good afternoon, PA Figs here. Just wanted to give a quick update on the greenhouse and some of the seeds we planted. You can see here the Alyssum roseo day has all germinated and sprouted. I want to say this Alyssum popped up within a matter of, it couldn't have been more than 3 or 4 days when it first germinated. And it's doing pretty well. It's liking the greenhouse. Does well in cooler temperatures as well. Let's see, if we jump over here, this is the disappointment so far. You can see in the corner is the Celosia Chief Red Flame. That germinated real nice, and I probably need to get it out from under the cover here. But you'll see the snapdragons, none. I think what's sticking out there may be weeds from the soil mix. I don't see a single snapdragon germinated yet. So I'll have to read up on snapdragons, see if maybe I did something wrong, if they need darkness to germinate, or I don't know. Warmer temperatures, 71 degrees on the heat mat, so they should be plenty warm. They haven't popped up yet. In here I've got some petunia cuttings. This is Sensation petunias. They're blue usually and very fragrant, and you can see they've started to take off. Some of them may not make it, but looks like I'll get a pretty good yield out of these. I'll keep them covered up until these purple Prince zinnias germinate. And I just planted those last night, so they'll take a little bit longer. And then over here we have our sugar snap peas. You can see that they've popped out and they're starting to grow. Teresa's forget-me-nots have all germinated as well, and they're starting to sprout through the soil. And the cucumbers, what were these called again? The Market Moors. They are all doing spectacularly. So they'll start growing here in this greenhouse and hopefully give us some fresh vegetables here in the early spring. Let's go take a look at the petunias, the plugs that I had. Alright, I've got quite a few of these, so they're a bit all over the place. I would say that the petunias are doing okay. They're starting to settle in. They're putting on a little bit of growth here. I would say in general they'd probably like it to be a little bit warmer than what we have right now. It has been a little bit chilly this week. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say that. For the first week of March, it's been unseasonably warm. I mean, we've had highs in the 50s. So I think the petunias, though, would really like it to be a steady 70 degrees, if not higher, in the greenhouse. But they're coming along. I think I'll get a pretty good survival rate, although I do have a few weekends out of town here. I'm going to have some of the neighbors come over and pay their kids to water for me. That makes me a little bit nervous, but we'll see what happens. I probably need to start fertilizing these guys as well, as I think that's the one problem with this Pro Mix. And I didn't mix in any type of fertilizer with it. I probably should have, but I don't believe there's very much in terms of nutrients in that Pro Mix. So these guys will need fertilization, and I don't want to mix it in with my main water because I don't want my seedlings they're pushing through here to be fertilized, not until they have their first set of true leaves on them. But yeah, things are going well in the greenhouse. Black Madeira is leafing out over there. My little, I should say Teresa's little pot of overwintered things, and the Sensation petunias that you see in there. That's where I took the cuttings from. But they're doing pretty well. And my Bordeaux Negro Ramada, I did see a fig on this earlier. If you look way up at the top here, there is a single Ramada fig. So that's always great to see. And my Italian figs are doing well. I did notice, you can see it right there, I did have one fig drop. So that's not giving me a real good hope for that tree in the back right corner. And you can see that other fig on it right there. Looks like it might be starting to shrivel up a little bit. So that variety might be out. I think there's at least at least 3 different varieties here, so we'll have to see. These ones seem to be holding on pretty well, and these ones here seem to be holding on pretty well, but it's too early to tell. We'll have to see if any of them ripen at all. And then my white Madeira, I put a little sulfur powder on it to see if that would help with some of the mealy bugs, just to try it. You can see it's putting out all sorts of, I guess those would be Brabas. Although, I'm trying to tell if these are Brabas or not. I guess they are on wood with an old leaf. So yeah, I believe they would be Brabas. Old growth. It gets kind of confusing in the greenhouse here because the tree doesn't really go into a dormancy period like it would in, you know, the normal time period. So it's kind of difficult to tell what is a Braba and what is a you know, main crop new fig. But you can see there are figs popping up all over the place on it. So should have a interesting start to these guys. If you figure it takes at least 60 to 90 days for them to ripen, it's first week of March, so you're looking at possibly even before June to get some fresh figs. Now the problem I do have is when the figs form in the greenhouse like this, trying not to have them get sun scalded when I move them out into the yard. It can be very difficult to move them out slowly enough to where the figs don't get sun scald. So we'll see what I can do this year. I do want to move a couple of fig trees into the greenhouse here if I have the room this spring. And I'm going to have quite a few plants. We need to do some more zinnias. I figure that they'll fill up these racks. And maybe I can fit, if I get some of this stuff out of here, 1 or 2 more trees in here to give them an early start. So I've got to figure out which ones, and I'll make sure to record that. I think I'm going to do some potting videos coming up, and I've been on a search for the perfect pots, as many of you know, and I have a couple candidates that I would say might be getting close to my perfect pot for the price. And stay tuned for that in a future video when I get a nice weekend here to do some work on them. Hopefully, not this weekend, I'm visiting family, but maybe the weekend after if the weather cooperates. Alright, something to look forward to. I'm PA Figs. Take care, everybody.